It is draft day, one of the biggest days of the year. I'm talking about opening week, draft day, and for this season, Super Bowl's that day. Who knows? The road to all of that begins right here, right now. Trade up, trade down, stay at 10. Who will be available again? Time to figure it all out. Talking rumors, talking facts, buying and selling. One of my favorite things with one of my favorite people. Boy Green meets Wudi right now.
Zoinks! But it is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh Darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh Darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It's here, okay? It's draft day. This is the day. I think we've been waiting for this day since week 13 of last season, but now it's tonight. It's tonight. We're talking about a couple of hours. It is your boy James Wudi. I literally woke up at like 5 a.m. just hype. Just hype, I'm just hype, just ready to go for this action. For oh my god, so many possibilities. Boy Green, how are you doing? What time did you wake up today?
I set the alarm for 4:20 a.m. 4:20 a.m. Because I got a radio show at 10, got Boy Green Daily at 7:30. Had to get in a draft day, which is about a 2-hour movie. Had to get that in early this morning to make sure I got it in because it's tradition. I had to do for our non-sports people, Survivor. Had to get that show in because I was working last night. So yeah, there's a lot of hoopla for my radio show to get ready for it. But yeah, baby, it's draft day. I had to switch the jersey this morning. I had the nice Sauce Gatna Legacy White, but I had to get the Darrelle Revis beautiful Pro Bowl jersey because the Jets plan on drafting Pro Bowl All-Pro players tonight. So I want to put that energy out into the ethos. So had to get that started right at the beginning, baby. And Boy Green meets Wudi, latest Jets draft buzz. And boy, I said it on the morning show that, man, we'll see what rumors happen between like 8 in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And rumors did happen. So we got a lot to get into.
Wow. I mean, you could have, if you wanted the All-Pro Pro Bowl juice, I mean, you could have kept the sauce on. I mean, it's that has inspired me to have the Quinnen Williams, my man's, hopefully I'm doing this tonight by the end of the draft because, I'm definitely expecting somebody brilliant, maybe even multiple people to be brought in, and I won't lie, Boy Green. We had a couple of people watch the last mock that we did. It wasn't until that night or that day, that I saw for the first time that you could trade up and then trade up again. Right? I never even thought about that. Never even thought about it. Trade up. I'm like, trade up. Now everything's gone. Trade up again? Is that possible?
Hey, I mean, that's what I had, baby. I had them trading up for Rome, had them trading back into the first round for Tyler Guyton, and boom, getting wide receiver and offensive tackle in. There's so many possibilities for the New York Jets, which makes this entire process pretty exciting. So, Wudi, without further ado, are you ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Is it your birthday, by the way? Is it?
It's my birthday tomorrow. I know it's a.
Is it,
It's just kind of,
it's your birthday. Oh, look at you!
it
Wow,
is. So
wow. Well, hopefully,
birthday and draft kind of in sync together. So, like for my birthday, like the last bunch of years, when my family, like yesterday, or last year, my fiance's like, "Ooh, could we throw a party?" I'm like, no. I'm like, the freaking draft lady. What are you talking about? I don't have time for no party. And so it was cool on her. She grabbed all people from my life and they sent in videos. And it was like a 30-minute video of people giving birthday wishes because they said, Paul, you got the draft worrying about it. And it was funny when she was putting that together for my birthday. The Aaron Rodgers trade hadn't happened yet. So they said, Paul, I know you've been banging this Aaron Rodgers trade for months. Hopefully it works out for you, pal, and all this other stuff. So it was a really cool video and stuff. So, yeah, I don't do, the birthday and the draft are the two. They're just kind of, they're insane.
I hear it. All right. Well, hopefully you don't have to even blow out any candles to get the wish that you want. Dewey Nation, I respect you. I appreciate you. All right. This is a lot of hard work up here. But yes, Boy Green, I think we're ready to dive into some of these tidbits.
Yeah, I will buy Dewey Nation, part of the Boy Green Superfan Club. Wudi has great hair, if I must say. Yeah, I will buy that. Yeah. The hair is on point. See, my hair is so whatever that I have to shove it in hats. This is the most hair you ever see. I'm wearing a backwards cap, so you get a little bit of this, I'm in the Goofy movie with Max throwing a little hair in the front. Kind of that's your little sneak peek, people, that I'm giving you. But normally not. Thought I'd mix it up a little bit. You're welcome, people. We'll see if got a Jets draft hat tomorrow morning for the birthday. We'll take a gander at that. No early birthday presents here, except for hopefully the Jets with the number 10 pick. So we've got a lot of different things that insiders have said, like I said, since my morning show into now, of what's going to happen. And I'll actually mix it up and do this one first. I wasn't planning on doing this one first, but there's a new rumor that just came out a little bit before the show from Diana Rossini of The Athletic, NFL Insider. She says the Rams, who haven't picked in the first round since 2016, are calling to get into the top 10. They're trying to trade up into the top 10, which Zach Rosenblatt quoted saying, interesting, Rams pick 19th. If the Jets are looking to trade back, that's a potential landing spot. Rams own all these different picks that he said. And so I will give you the draft value, I guess, before you answer this. That if Zach, I guess we'll start there. First off, Zach Rosenblatt saying the Jets and Rams potential trade partners on draft day for a trade down for the New York Jets. Are you in for that? Would you buy or sell that?
So Funny Brothers went up. This was the first one, that I would have brought up. I will buy that. I think that's definitely possible.
Would you be interested in it? It's okay. It's possible, like as a factual thing, but your opinion on it would be what? Would you buy or sell that? Would you want that to happen or no?
Oh, would I? Oh, yeah. I don't mind.
Too far, man. That's too far.
Too far.
But I'll give you the package, by the way, for people that are curious. Like, what are all the pick situation for the Rams? So, if the Rams traded from 19 to 10, basically the best value in a realistic.
Well, maybe
model.
I should have heard the package first. So
that's probably true. Yeah, you're just buying. Okay, I'll buy. Okay, it's a 7th round pick, sucker. No, like here's the real value. The Jets would get a 1st round pick swap. Obviously, they dropped the 19. They'd get the Rams' 2nd round pick. That's 52 overall, and they'd get their later 3rd. They have 2 3rd-round picks. So here are the picks they would get in theory: 19, 52, 99. That'd be their 1st, 2nd, and later 3rd in exchange for 10. That's basically a straight-up deal, according to the draft value chart in terms of value. That'd be straight up. So they get a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for a 1st. And while getting a 2nd is good, and the 3rd on top of it, cool, throw another pick. And that would just sneak just inside the top 100 because that is pick 99 in the 3rd round. That's too far for me. I think you're missing out on blue chip talent dropping that far back, which scares me.
I don't know. I'm gonna still buy it. 4 picks. That gives you now 4 picks in the top 100, right? Because you have
correct. You'd still have 72. You'd have 19, 52, 72, 99.
Oh, sorry, 72, yes, and 99. So, yeah, give me 4 picks. I mean, this is something, oh, my God. I had a heated conversation with my brother last night because, the belief that elite talent only exists in the top 10. That's just not true. It's just not true.
I guess that's true. Yeah, right.
And I'm not saying, they are littered throughout all the rounds, but I think top 100 and that's safe. If you want to, truncate it even smaller and say, top 60, right? The top two rounds, right? Then fine. So having two picks there, it's really a matter of, do we have faith in Joe Douglas's scouting and being able to find gems, in those later rounds. And you guys have heard me say a lot of things about Joe Douglas. I will opt to trust.
I will say this. So Dave the Dude, well, what a very apropos name here on YouTube, says, as long as one of the top three receivers or alt isn't on the board at 10, I make that deal. Yeah, so again, context is important because you wouldn't make this trade at 3:13 on draft day. You'd be making it on the clock in theory. They'd be calling up ahead of time, and if your guys aren't there. And the other one is Brock Bowers would be interesting because you won't know what's going to be there at 19 until we get to 19. You only know what's on the board at 10 as you're making this move. So that part scares me a bit. I mean, it's compelling. 4 picks inside the top 100. That's juicy. But again, I reiterate that I think this Jets team needs more quality than quantity. I'd be more in the trade up department, which again, I don't want to cut us off. We'll be getting into that in a little bit with some other rumors and buzz that's happening here. But yeah, it would depend on who's available, I guess. If this situation played out and the top 3 are gone and Joe Alt's gone, I would strongly consider it with only Brock Bowers there and all the offensive linemen. Yeah, I would. I'd strongly think about it, but I'll buy it as an option because sure, I think Joe Douglas would be interested. I'm just not so sure personally. My own feelings about it. If I would be interested in dropping that far back, that is a large drop off potentially there.
Back it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Little too far. Speaking of trading back, I'll just work this one in here. Field Yates of ESPN dropped his final mock draft earlier today, and he actually predicted a trade that the Jets would trade from 10 to 15 with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts would be moving up for Brock Bowers. The Jets end up with an offensive lineman. The only problem to me, and this is part of the buy or sell here, is that in that trade back scenario that Field Yates proposed on ESPN, the only thing the Jets would get is a 3rd rounder, dropping from 10 to 15. And according to the draft value chart, the Jets would be underselling doing that move where they would, again, get 15 and 82. That's a 3rd rounder for the Colts. And basically, the buy or sell is this, Wudi. Are you willing to trade down with a move like that, basically? Even if you're not getting full value, but you're trading down and you're still picking up an asset and then picking up an offensive lineman, or the other side of selling it, saying that I'm not trading down just to trade down. And that's basically, I guess I'll answer it first, my own question. I am completely selling that. I'm not trading down just to trade down. If the offer, like the Rams, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whoa, okay, that's a lot going on there, or whatever. Okay, that's interesting. But there's no way in hell I'm dropping from 10 to 15 and not picking up a 2nd rounder, in my opinion. So I'm selling that. But what do you say?
Sell. Oh my God. Bruh. That is why we are trading down, is to acquire the 2nd rounder. So I will have to say hell no. And that's why I was just about to say sell no, but then that would be very confusing because I'd be like, wait, what do you mean? Are you not selling? Or so right. That's why I had to stop in the middle of that. But definitely selling that. And like you said, you actually just said it beautifully. We're not trading back just for the sake of trading back to acquire a 2nd round pick. So definitely no thank you.
And hopefully Joe Douglas has done his homework. So for folks who don't know, again, I talk about this all the time. I just, because it's a flex, but also more importantly, that's just really cool that I've gotten a chance to speak with NFL general managers who used to be in those chairs and get to understand what the week leading into the draft is. Draft day is awesome, and we're all enjoying it right now. But they tell me, these people that I've talked to, that the week leading in is the Jets calling the Falcons. Hey, what would it take if we want to move up for our guy? A 3rd in this? Okay, cool. Rams. Hey, Jets, what would it take if we want to go from 19 to 10? this. Okay, they're not agreed to. The deals aren't 1,000% happening, but you have an idea where all these different pivot points are in the draft. You have like frameworks of deals set up. If this happens, if my player is in there, okay, we'd be willing to potentially do the deal. So with a lot of that, hopefully Joe Douglas has done his homework, and there's no Will McDonald had a farm joke you always make about, oh, wow, that's a lot of time going down on the 10-minute clock there for the New York Jets. Hopefully that's not the case, because then it reeks of desperation, all these other things. So again, I am not willing to trade just to trade. And that's what Field Yates said. If that's offered for the Colts, I'll tell them, hey, they present the offer. I'm like, hey, this is great. Actually, I'd like to return this. And I'm like, return it where? I'm like, bend over and I'll show you. That's what I'm talking about with a deal like this. And that's where that deal's going. So, no, thank you. Okay. To throw it on there. Okay, let's go to this one. I was going to save this one for the end, but it'll be better because Rich Samini actually has a Machine Gun Kelly level of rumors that he kind of dumped all out altogether. So we'll do him in a full package here. But Connor Hughes, he said this on social media. There is no situation that can play out on Thursday where the Jets don't land someone they need. A wide receiver, Brock Bowers, or offensive tackle will be there. There's a chance 2 of the 3 is there. Possibly all 3 of them gets there if Rome can sneak past Chicago. And so I guess buy or sell that no matter what situation plays out, the Jets will land someone they need. And he gave a bunch of examples. Wide receivers, Bowers, offensive tackle. He believes 2 of 3 will be there, if not all 3. Buy or sell?
I mean, because of the tackle situation, yes, you got to buy that. At least one is going to be there. I think it's a pretty safe bet that Talise Fuanga is going to be there. 2 out of the 3, Bowers 2. Okay, maybe. So yes, because we've heard. I don't know if we're going to talk about people trading in above us to get Bowers. That's also something that was said. So I wouldn't I'm not going to put that into FanDuel. Yeah, that 2 out of 3 will be there. But yes, I would say, tight end, offensive tackles, I think that's possible. Not Joe Alt, but Fuanga, one of those guys. And that's Joe Douglas's guy. That's another thing is that, all these media guys and just draft analysts, like they have their list, but Joe Douglas has his own list, right? Jermaine Johnson was one of the top guys on Joe Douglas's list. But no one was really talking about Jermaine. They were hyping up Kayvon Thibodeau and Trayvon Walker, those guys. So the chances of Joe Douglas's specific tackle being there and Brock Bowers, I would agree, is pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, I will buy the fact that there's not a lot of places they could go wrong. Now, in terms of all of these things being there, a wide receiver, Bowers, or offensive tackle, I think the offensive tackle is going to be there, so I'll put that aside. I think Bowers is going to be there. I'll put that aside. The wide receiver, I'm hoping the wide receiver is there. Will he be? I guess we'll see. I also do want to address this Franco point on YouTube, who says we're expecting a 2nd-round pick to move down. Then we need to expect to give up more than a 4th to move up to 8th. Falcons just won't trade down to trade down. Here's where I actually disagree with that, Franco. In terms of the Jets moving back, we're expecting a 2nd because, the reason I think it's twofold. One of the reasons why I'm expecting a 2nd is because the gap between 10 to 15 for what we need and what's going to go is massive. The Broncos could take a tackle. The Saints are taking a tackle. There's all these teams who could take a tackle in that range, and then we're getting lesser. For the Falcons, people believe they're going defense. If they go defense at 8, if they go defense at 10, all the same players are on the board. That's why for them, a trade down would make sense, potentially, because they get the same guy. The Jets, if they trade back from 10 to 15 or, God forbid, 10 to 19, they ain't getting the same guys anymore. I think that's the difference. But how much will it cost for the Jets? Could cost 2 fourths. Maybe it's a swap, as someone else suggested. The Jets go 10 and 72, and then we get 8 in their 90 pick. So, there's a lot of alterations you can do where you can move things around. We'll see. But it's fair to say that, hey, man, the 2 to tango goes both ways, but I want the Jets to get what they can for the cheapest possible price, and I want the most maximum price for selling. That's just how I'm operating here as well. By the way, I literally just got this onto my burner phone, apparently. It's a long story. I got this other phone in here, and Giants interested in moving up for Marvin Harrison Jr. I also saw Giants interested in moving up for quarterbacks. We're getting literally everything from Giants land over there, which is fascinating, but this is not, Boy Green meets Giants or Wudi meets Giants. This is Boy Green meets Wudi. All Jets coverage. Okay, we've got a bunch of
Giant
stuff.
meets Woody was probably the best option.
That's right. That probably would have fit more. But I mean, you're the rhymer, right? You started off the other day with you said, "Boy Green, give me a beat." I was like, and you were like, "And we are on draft day." And you were laying the gospel, which people really appreciated. By the way, you really were spitting it out there, which people were digging. Which credit, tip of the cap.
Yes. Well, hey, the Giants they need a lot over there, so they definitely. If you've seen that meme with Charlie Day with like the board behind him, like trying to figure out like everything, that is them. That is Joe Shane over there trying to figure stuff out. Kudos to the job of this front office that we're not in that scenario. You know, it's not a lot to figure out. It's just a bunch of different scenarios that can play out.
Random aside, I think the Giants are going quarterback, by the way. Just I had to give my mock draft on my radio show earlier today. I think they're trading up for a quarterback. I think they're going after J.J. McCarthy. So just keep that out in the universe. Remember, Boy Green's mock draft out there in the universe. I think that's where they're going. Okay, let's go back to Jetsland. There's a bunch of stuff here from Rich Cimini. Rich Cimini says the Jets, could pick anywhere from 8 Atlanta to 17 with Jacksonville. He said there's a chance it could move up or down. He says if they go up, it'll be for Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze. If they go down, he suspects it would be for an offensive tackle. So let's do this in a few pieces. The range of where the Jets will pick in the first round would be between 8 and 17. Buy or sell?
I'm a sell. Actually, yeah, I'm selling because they might. I think they could trade above or below. We just started with me buying that they would trade for 19. And if they really want their guy, I believe they've talked about trading number 5, right, for the 5th pick. I think it could be high. Yeah, I think it could go higher or lower. I would say 5, and then I have to look at the later part of the board to see how low they could go.
Yeah, I'll buy Samini's thing, 8 to 17. That seems like a very safe range of where to pick. It's like my trade up scenario is the safe, reasonable trade is Odunze, which I think is 8. And then I don't want to go any further than that. So I'm really buying it and hoping it's true because I don't want to go any further than that down the slip and slide down the board there. Would be interesting. Okay, let's go to the other part. If they trade up, it would be for Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze. Buy or sell that?
For perhaps the final time in Boy Green meets Wudi history.
Sure.
Joe Alt. If they traded up for Joe Alt, I don't even know. Like, I would be through the ceiling.
I'd be stunned. Because if you move up for one of the other receivers has to also be on the board. The chances that the 3 receivers go and Alt still remain seems, I mean, I guess the math can math, but I feel like to do that, and we all think it's receiver, and we're going, and then they go, Notre Dame offensive lineman, Joe, I'd be like, whoa. Like, it'd be awesome because he's really good, but that could be crazy.
Definitely would be crazy. So I'm actually going to sell it for that reason, just because they might be really high on him. And they did, if we look at Dom C's incredible, intricate breakdown, Joe Alt is one of the people that they spoke with the most. I mean, he is a surefire prospect. I know some people are trying to poke different holes, but I mean, this guy's a 2nd generation blue chipper from, Notre Dame. I mean, they have a rich history of developing all pro linemen.
Zach Martin, Mike McGlinchey. They've had varying guys, yeah.
So I think it would be a slam dunk. Let him learn from Tyron. People are talking about, you don't want to create a logjam, bruh. The offensive line has had dozens of injuries each of the last 2. There is no logjam. What we need is somebody to pick up the slack when somebody else goes down, and that would be an unbelievable person waiting in the wings if Tyron Smith, even at his best in the last 8 years, is 13 games. So who's playing those other 4 games? Give me Joe Alt, baby.
Yeah, I'll sell it for the same reason. I think there's an outside shot of a Joe Alt because I think the offensive line talk starts at 5. And will the Chargers draft Joe Alt and force him to play right tackle? Because Rashawn Slater's all-pro ass ain't moving to right side. So that means they could take right tackle. And then I would imagine the Giants are infatuated with either quarterback or receiver. So they go with the quarterback or they go with Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors. So now all of a sudden we get to 7. Is the Brock Bowers stuff with Tennessee real? Is that real? Or anything else that we've heard some kind of weird rumors about Tennessee? It's been the obvious Joe Alt landing spot. He gets past there. All of a sudden, that's what I'm talking about, where we get into that range. So I will sell it for that reason. Here's the other one that Rich Cimini suspects. If they trade down the Jets, it will be for an offensive tackle. Buy or sell. And I will start this one. And I will sell. I think there's a chance they like a player that I'm really questionable on, and it's Brian Thomas Jr. That part would scare me. And that part is like the palpable buzz I've been hearing from people that cover this and keep connecting the Jets to Brian Thomas Jr. That one would scare me. If I trade down, I'd rather the offensive lineman, to Rich Cimini's point, but we're buying and selling. The reality of these things potentially happening, I think there is a chance if they trade down that they could go in a wild position or get a player that I'm not that high on, like a Brian Thomas Jr. So I will actually sell that it would be basically exclusively offensive tackle and trade down scenarios.
I mean, I might have to box Joe Douglas unless like we're talking, he secured, and this isn't realistic because I'm almost certain this team, there's not one team that has both of these numbers, but maybe if they secure the 23rd and 33rd pick, okay, 22 Brian Thomas Jr. But you're telling me that you picked up 19 and 52. And you use 19 on, boy, you better, oh my God. Yes, you got to put him up. You got to put him up at that point. So
Okay.
I'm actually going to buy. I'm going to buy.
God, I hope so. Okay.
Joe Douglas. I mean, he said it. It might have taken him 5 years, but, he's trying to build a team in the trenches. Now he has the crown jewel. And people, and this is another thing that people keep saying to me, like, Aaron wants weapons. Aaron wants weapons. Aaron, I would imagine, doesn't want to get hurt. That's what I think Aaron wants. I think he wants to play a full season. So the best way to do that is to pick premium guys that will block for him. So I'm going by with that.
Well, that math. Again, we have over 500 people live in the room right now. So again, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below. We're going through, it's Boy Green, it's Wudi. We're going through the latest juicy Jets rumors that I've heard from a variety of insiders in buying or selling, the legitimacy of some of these takes. Here's another one here. Rich Cimini says there's a scenario he believes where Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze falls to 10. Buy or sell?
You're going to buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
Okay.
I'm buying it because of what we said. There's a couple of things, right? Quarterbacks, right? It could be 4 quarterbacks, and he used to do it. He used to count on the fingers, talking about how all the different positions. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks. This many tackle. All right. Hey. So I think with that, if JJ sneaks in, whether the Vikings cause that or somebody else comes in there, that's possible. I also think that it's extremely possible for multiple tackles to go in the first round. I know the Bears have been tied Joe Odunze, but the Bears might want protection for Caleb. I feel like right now they have 2 very, very good outside receivers, and their offensive line is shaky. So I would go. I mean, if I'm Ryan Pace, that's where I would go. They might surprise us. The Chargers, right? Everybody has that clip of Jim Harbaugh, what they're trying to do, even though they definitely need a receiver. But, that's Jim said what he said. And then Bill Callahan, best offensive line coach in football down there in Tennessee, coaching for his son, the head coach, right? Maybe they want to build up that line for Will Levis. It looks like for all the young QBs, other than CJ Stroud, it looks like Tennessee is doing their absolute best to give this kid everything. He has his weapons, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley. Do they go Bowers, like you said, or do they get an offensive line? Either one of those means that a receiver has fallen. So I think there are so many possibilities that, yes, I think it is possible that Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors drops to 10 because, again, we don't know these teams. We don't know which teams like Neighbors over Rome, we don't know which teams feel vice versa.
Yeah, I'm going to sell and what Notorious TBG says here on the channel. Easy sell. One of the receivers may fall to 9, but the Bears will snag him. That's kind of my gut too. And I don't know if you said Ryan Pace, but Ryan Poles is the GM.
I might have said Pace. Ryan P. I could have just kept that Ryan P.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been accurate. So just a quick clarification there. But yeah, that's kind of my fear. So I think if the Jets want one of these receivers, call the Dirty Birds and offer a trade, because I feel like the Bears are the floor. Again, I would love for that to be wrong, and the Bears go up and they say, yeah, we'll take an offensive lineman, we'll take a defender, and the Jets start losing their crap because that means that player's coming to the Jets probably, although not always. Last year, we're like, Jackson Smith and Chigba. Wow, this is phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
So you don't know. You don't know. So, I will sell that one. I think if the Jets want one of those guys, they're going to have to move up. And this one, I guess, isn't really a buy or sell per se for what Samiti's saying. He said it's hard to get a read on which offensive tackle they prefer. He thinks Joe Alt is probably gone, maybe even J.C. Latham, but then he's been talking about all these different guys. Talise Fuaga, Joe Douglas kind of guy. Olu Fashanu, left tackle value. Troy Fountain now. Tyler Geithner in the picture, according to Rich Samiti. I know of at least one team that has Fashanu and Latham rated over Alt, which he said, which is interesting and shocking in a lot of ways. So instead of buy or sell necessarily here, who is, and someone asked this question earlier, who is the second best offensive tackle that you have on this class? And or you can feel free to answer it a different way. Which offensive lineman in the next wave do you believe the Jets would target if they went in that direction?
Great question. I mean, what I would do is different from I would imagine is from what Joe Douglas would do in our mocks. All right, I've always traded down, or not always, but when I do the trade down, I get fat now. I just love the versatility. I know people are worried that they've seen some like knee things.
Yes, that came up. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like that, something that late in the game. They said something similar about Frank Gore, who I know from the Jets' perspective is not a name that we're trying to hear. But ask a 49ers fan about Frank Gore. They were talking about how he had ACL tears in both of his knees. They didn't know how long he would even be in the league, and he is one of the longest tenured. That part we know, that he's been in the league forever, and was one of the most successful running backs in the history of the NFL. So I'm not sure how much weight I think that's just more somebody whispering to affect his stock to either get him to move down to them or something like that. So anyway, that is a super long way to say that I think Joe Douglas, number 2, is probably Fuanga. Like I think on paper, or not even on paper, physically, he has the best traits, right? Fashanu had the more success. He had that great season 2 years ago. Didn't really build up on it. We worried about the run game a little bit, but Fuanga, I feel like if we're talking about clay that can be molded, he is probably the most moldable clay that the Jets could use in Joe Douglas's mind. But that's where I also think Fatnow, because he has the versatility in positions, is probably also pretty high up there. I don't know how high Fashanu or Latham, who are kind of seen as more rigid prospects. They love versatility. They say it every time, talking about versatility. So I would imagine the Jets board probably looks like Alt, Fuanga, Fatnow, Fashanu, Latham.
Interesting. Okay. I will just say this. I do believe, we'll get to this other question here in just a moment in terms of these offensive linemen. Do we get to that now? No. I'll get to that one in just a second on the offensive lineman. But the only thing is, and when I try to address who is this secondary offensive lineman for the New York Jets, the one that I kind of lean towards is Olu. But I do want to, that's the thing. I forgot where I was going to go. Was your injury thing about Fontenot, that it could just be kind of a late try to let's leak this and hopefully it works so the player slips to us. For every one of those examples, a pass rusher that comes into mind from a bunch of years ago. I haven't thought about this person in a long time, so I don't know why this random pull came. Daquan Bowers, which I believe was a Clemson pass rusher. There was a late stuff about injuries. He ends up slipping to like the second or third round, and they said that he wasn't going to have a long career because of these new things they found out about his knees, and he ended up not having a long career. So sometimes it does end up being true, but sometimes not. So again, I think I'm leaning Olu Fashanu as that guy, but Fuaga could certainly be in that conversation. And we'll end with 2 here. Let's go to this one. Notorious TBG saying there's always at least one surprise pick in the top 10. Who do you believe is the surprise pick that happens where we're like, whoa? And I'll give you guys one right now of what I believe is the surprise pick in the top 10 that people just don't have as an option. And I think it happens. I think Byron Murphy II, Texas defensive lineman, ends up going in the top 10. And I think that's the surprise, either to the Bears or the Falcons. So that happens at either 8 or 9. So we've been doing the math of worst case scenarios for the Jets: 4 quarterbacks, 3 receivers, this, that. What if a new position enters the mix? So you have Dallas Turner, he could go, and then a secondary defender, potentially like Byron Murphy, can go. I think that's the surprise pick that we're like, whoa. I think there can be surprises of where people go. Like I said, the J.J. McCarthy trade up or something like that. But I do think there are other situations where a new player jumps in where that really affects the mix. So I will go surprise pick Byron Murphy II out of Texas. Give us a surprise.
I'll go with the Patriots not taking QB.
Oof, that would be a little crazy.
That would definitely be crazy. I would be hyped though.
You would be interesting.
But yeah, I mean, they could go with the whole bridge QB idea. The biggest rumor, because I have a cousin who's a Patriots fan, so he loves sending me updates that I do not ask or care about whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I don't even like that side of the family like that. But anyway. He keeps showing me things about the Patriots and the Vikings, right? So if they trade down, and then potentially from there they they can go a whole bunch of different ways because they need a lot of things, right?
Yeah,
they would benefit from a receiver. Give them Brian Thomas. Just like
that'd be great. Yeah.
So I think that's a surprise. I 100% agree with the sentiment of what the notorious TBG is talking about. That there is always a surprise. That's why I fully believe that it's possible that one of those receivers are on the board. Or to Connor's point, could be all 3 of the positions that we're looking at.
All right, 2 tight end points here. First off, we have a YouTube super chat coming in. Thank you, Perry Anthony, for sending this in. Tip Ryman, the tight end out of, I believe it's Illinois, pops up here on the screen. Best blocker, 6'5", 270, 4'6", 40-yard dash. He says take him in the round 3, serves as another offensive tackle, a beast. I would just say in general, I think a lot of people are discrediting the impact that you can have with multiple tight ends, 12 personnel, and getting some of that chipping in to help out. I think the starting 5 offensive line has a chance to be top 10 and be very special this year. But in addition to that, there are creative ways to help that unit. So Tip Ryman, that's a guy I haven't heard a lot in this cycle as a potential option. I've been kind of Brock Bowers or bust. We'll get to Brock Bowers in a second. That's our last buy or sell for draft day today, and then we'll have other content later. I hope you guys can check that out. But I've been pretty Brock Bowers, get him. If not, all right, I'm good. But if you really take a fine-tooth comb through this, Jeremy Ruckert only has 2 years left on his rookie deal. Conklin has 1 year left. Kuntz is a 1-year deal. Kenny Yeboah is a 1-year deal. So the entire tight end room could blow up pretty quick. So that may be a surprise position, for lack of a better. Like, some people think the Jets could go Brock Bowers in the first round, but I haven't heard a lot of people say, oh, man, you got to attack tight end in round 3, or, oh, boy, got to attack tight end in round 4. I haven't heard a lot of that chatter. So Tip Ryman's a good call, Perry Anthony, for that, which we will use this to launch into the Brock Bowers discussion, Wudi. Buy or sell the hype around Brock Bowers. Every mock draft that I've seen, it's palpable, has the Jets and Brock Bowers from all the major analysts. The only other ones have been like Dano Jeremiah. So again, shout out to DJ for mocking Rome Odunze, the Rome Empire, to the New York Jets with the 10th overall pick. Thank you very much. But besides him, it's been basically Brock Bowers, Jets. Do you buy the hype that it's that all this buzz, that is basically the favorite to be the New York Jets pick?
FanDuel has him listed as the favorite by far to be that 10th overall pick. Do I buy the hype? I feel that's a loaded question. Do I buy the hype around Brock Bowers? Do I think he can be George Kittle? Can George Kittle be selling this child short? I will buy it. I will
Ooh,
buy it.
okay. Very nice.
I mean, I still believe, because a person that the anti-Brock committee, the ABCs, right, what they keep coming up with is Kyle Pitts, but I think
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is a victim of circumstance. I haven't seen him in he looks slow or he's dropping passes. Like, no, he's just not being featured by a coach who was just fired. And now we'll see with a good quarterback in Kirk Cousins, I'm expecting him to have a nice bounce back. It's something similar that we saw to TJ Hawkinson, who was also considered, baby Gronk, another first round draft pick tight end. Brock Bowers, if he were to come into the New York Jets facility, one Jets drive, Aaron Rodgers as QB1, Mike Will, Garrett Will on the outside, you're gonna tell me in an offense, a scheme that made Robert Tonyan a top 5 in the entire NFL in touchdown receptions. That is what this scheme has done to that position. You're going to tell me Brock Bowers isn't going to eat all day, every day for an entire season? It's malarkey. That is the best word. I had to pull out a nonsense word. That is the best way to put it if that's what you believe. Brock Bowers to the New York Jets is a slam dunk.
Okay.
So I will buy the hype. I don't know if they're actually going to do it. I'll be okay. I promise.
I will too. I'm going to be honest. I'd be perfectly satisfied. Now, if they take him over like a Roma Dudes or something, that would make me go, ooh, okay. Wow. I hope they're right. That would probably give me a little bit of pause. The last one, actually, Notorious TBG, has just been dominating the comments with some of these home run hitters. If JJ McCarthy doesn't go in the top 9, do the Jets take him before the Vikings can at 11? Jets need somebody to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. JJ McCarthy, Jets.
If we're talking about will the Jets do it, they could. Would I do it? Hell no. Like, literally,
I'll say this,
I
low
couldn't
key.
be paid. I couldn't be paid to do that.
Early in the process, I'm like, boy, JJ McCarthy, if we trade up in the second round, would be cool. This is way months ago, obviously. I'm like, oh, wow, that'd be cool. And then the buzz has just been going, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, that's too bad. Because, like, again, I'm in the same camp that I want someone learning behind Aaron Rodgers. Boy, if JJ McCarthy's there, that would be interesting. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is really playing 3 years, though, like, oh boy, his rookie contract's up and we haven't seen diddly, which is the best case scenario. So what you're hoping for, you're hoping Rodgers plays here a long time. I'd be tempted, man. If that happened, I know a lot of Jet fans would be pissed. JJ, I think he's going to be really good in the NFL, man. I don't know. He just has this moxie. I like the way he carries himself. He's a winner. Poof. I don't know, man. Get me a Michigan man and let's do it. Let's do it up, baby. All right.
That's
crazy.
I'm gonna say. That is unbelievable. Rico, I completely feel you, man. It is a special time to be a fan of New York sports. Okay,
sure.
This is a huge game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in Philly. After we embarrassed them. There was up 5, 28 seconds left. Didn't even matter. We're up 2-0. Embarrass them. Now we got to go into their house and tell them that their house stinks. And after that, or I guess while it's happening, I'll be flipping through the channels talking about what happened, with the top 10, because every pick
that's true
that happens will dramatically impact the Jets. I would say from 3 on down, right? We're assuming.
Yeah, really. I mean, even the quarterbacks up top affect them. So, and I hope Hennessy Heisman's right here. Says they're saying Marvin Harrison Jr. might fall after this show. I've got a little bit of work to do, but I'm hoping to get right in front of the TV and just be absorbing all the rumors that are coming out on ESPN, NFL Network, and all the other stuff to hear what everybody's saying. And talk to me, baby. Talk to me. I'd be all over all of that. So I hope so. Well, Wudi, thanks for doing this. This is all awesome. We always do this every Tuesday and Thursday, but This was 500 plus people in the room live right now, plus everyone who's watching after this and leading up into the draft. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. We're streaming live on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoydGreen25, at BoydGreen25 on Twitter, and the James Wudi on Instagram. Thanks for all the pop, the love, everybody. Again, I will be back on. There will be no live stream. I won't just have a camera on me live while we're all watching the draft together. But as soon as the Jets pick is made, I'll be coming on doing a quick video about it. And, of course, we'll be on tomorrow morning to react to it on Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning. So we'll have a bunch of content around it. So just stay tuned, everybody, and we'll keep you hooked up. I'm looking forward to it. Wudi, enjoy the draft. I know we'll be texting and talking. There's no doubt about it, but I'm looking forward to it. Draft day, baby.
I cannot wait. Woo! Your boy has been slow cooking some ribs and pork. I'm gonna need a bib for this jersey. So I'm gonna just be eating, and I can't wait for this draft pick or potentially these draft picks to eat with the New York Jets. Oh my gosh, I couldn't be more ecstatic.
Should be a doozy. Here we go. Those sweet chimes, baby. Can't wait to see what the Jets do. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily and also a little later tonight for some extra video content. Enjoy, fans. Draft day. Jets. Jets.